Live from the PeopleForward Network podcast studio at CultureCon in Madison, Wisconsin, this Fringe episode was created to help you grow your perspective around culture and meaningful work. CultureCon believes that every individual, regardless of role, has the power to make work more meaningful for themselves and their organization. Now, here's some inspiration straight from the amazing leaders and workplaces within the CultureCon community.
Hey, it's Nikki Lewallen Gregory, founder of PeopleForward Network, and welcome to a new series hitting Fringe, PeopleForward Network's home show. CultureCon and PeopleForward Network are highly aligned on a mission and who we serve, or we have similar missions and similar people in this world that we love to serve. And what I would say is meaningful work meets people first leaders. Together, we can make such a bigger impact. We have a few partnerships throughout this world where we have found just such right fit alignment with another organization. And it's few and far between, but when we find them, we're like, we want to double down. So here's what we're doing. We are on site right now recording this kickoff to a series that you listeners get to hear for hopefully years to come, because I think that we're going to load it up for about a year to trickle out a number of things that are happening at the location where CultureCon was originally founded in Madison, Wisconsin. And together, we can make work suck less. So I stole that tagline from CultureCon. You'll see that on their website. I thought that's really fun. So in pursuit of meaningful work and just honored to partner alongside CultureCon, I'd love to introduce the co-founders of CultureCon, Nick Lombardino and Zach Blumenfeld. Hey guys, so glad that you're here. I want to kick off because we want to know, we're like in the place that it all started. Tell us the origin story. Tell us the backstory of how CultureCon came to be.
Yeah, definitely. Well, first off, thanks for having us. We are so excited about this partnership and the awesome interviews that are going to take place here and the storytelling. So it's going to be a hell of a week. So yeah, CultureCon, how it got started, I was part of a software company called Third Space as one of the co-founders. And the software was basically to help with company culture, mainly employee engagement, personal development. And before we had the software, we'd have these executive roundtables where we'd invite in people from pretty much all across the area to have like a little breakfast session. We would ask them some questions, get them talking about culture to make sure that we were building software that would help solve these culture challenges. So they would always start pretty quiet. No one would really want to be the first one to open up. So back then, this was like 2016 or so, we would ask them like, tell us about your millennials or some kind of topic like that. And one CEO would open up and then the next and the next. And it was just like therapy sessions, like the good, bad, ugly, everything would get shared out. And we would have these roundtables for like an hour and a half breakfast time, and they'd always run over. So sometimes I remember them going 4 or 5 hours. People would just really get going. So I thought, what if we took this idea and made it into a larger event? Like, people are so passionate about this topic. They want to make work better for people, but there wasn't really anything out there like that. So my co-founder actually introduced me to Nick over here. Nick and I, we went to the same high school, didn't know each other in high school. We were a couple years apart, Nick's a couple years older than me. We hit it off on the square. We met at Collectivo Coffee Shop. I talked to him about these roundtables I was participating in and running, and pitched him on this CultureCon idea. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. He said yes right away. And it's been a friendship and business partnership ever since. And so, yeah, that's how we got our start.
What really struck me about meeting Zach at that coffee shop and having him tell me more about these executive roundtables was how willing these participants were to share in the abundance of knowledge. And so somebody would maybe profess a problem that they were experiencing at their organization, and then having the group, sometimes people saying, hey, I've had that problem myself and I've solved it. Let me give you some frameworks. Let me introduce you to our people director. Let me help you as much as I can, because I've been there and I want to help. And so when Zach shared that with me, I was like, holy smokes. Yeah. If we could just kind of extrapolate this a little bit further and create the container for more of this knowledge sharing and connection to happen, it sounded like a home run.
Yeah. And so then we, after we met up, we decided to try this thing out. So we were calling it Mini CultureCon, just an evening event where we wanted to get 50 people in the room. And that was our goal. We planned it. I think it was like Valentine's Day. There was a blizzard. We're obviously not great event planners, still aren't, but we pulled this off. And we had to expand the room size. There was over 100 people there. So we figured we were onto something. And so later that year, June of 2018, we had our first event right here at the Concourse Hotel in Madison. And it's been growing ever since.
Well, as we were sitting here talking, just as I have gotten to know you in my own conversations and the introductions that have been made to you guys, actually, it was references over and over. I kept writing down CultureCon ? CultureCon ? And then our dear friend Amy Woodall connected the dots where I had brought up, I'm like, have you heard of CultureCon? As a matter of fact, I just met them just recently. I forget where it was. She's like, I'd love to make an introduction. You all are going to love each other. So I'm a big believer in stars align. So how we all got together, it's like I kept writing it down. Then all of a sudden, a dear friend of mine is like, I just met him last week. Here we go. So another stars align story. Not only did you go to the same high school and didn't know each other, and I'm going to guess that it's not like the largest high school in the world, but your grandmas were friends, I guess. So it's like, this is crazy. So just the relational factor, I think that people pick up on at CultureCon is really loud. And you all just bring such a Fred and Barney or Harry and Lloyd if you're a Dumb and Dumber fan. Not that any version of Dumb and Dumber, but it's just very fun. You bring such a fun flair to all of this, which makes people want to come back, because I think just being here for my first time now and hearing from people, it's like you just go and just be you and just make true relationships. It's not this like suit and tie, postured thing. And I am just so excited to be here with you all. And all of the feedback we've got is just is glowing. So with that, before we announce our fourth component of our team for this kickoff episode here, I'd love to hear what's to come. So we are sitting here right now, 2024 Madison, where all the things began. Walk us through like what your intention is for this year's main conference and what's to come in the future, the vision for the future of CultureCon.
Yeah, I think for this year in particular, not just this event alone, this has been a growth year for us. Geographically, as a matter of fact, we've expanded our conference series to also include the West Coast. So we'll be returning to Las Vegas this November for CultureCon.
Baby.
Vegas, baby. That's right. Yep. And then another growth opportunity that we were able to hit this year also was to host our first industry-specific event. So we had an event called the EdGov Summit, and that was an event that was exclusive for individuals working in higher education and government. And we really wanted to carve out a unique CultureCon experience to help those individuals who operate in very unique working environments. So trying to give them the right tools and connections so that they could be cultural change agents within their place of work. But really coming in to this week in Madison, Wisconsin for CultureCon 2024, this is home base for us. We always love hosting our annual flagship event here. So many pieces have to come together to pull it off. And each year it feels like we try and keep tacking on more things. So it doesn't get easier, but I think the confidence continues to grow, and partnerships like this with the PeopleForward Network is no exception. So this year in particular, I think our mindset was, what can we do to better capture the learnings and connections that are happening at this event and know how to better disseminate that out into the world even after it's done. And so this is an opportunity for us to really capture these meaningful stories and lessons learned and connections and be able to keep that going throughout the year.
Well, I will tell you, as a fan of mentorship, I think mentorship is the greatest thread between the things in my life that have brought me to this place. It's the people that have been alongside my journey and have shared with me. And so much of it is their inspiration that fuels me and keeps me going, or their stories that I then get to take and, learn from and make my own. With all of that, I said, I keep hearing of all this magic that happens at CultureCon. Why would you all just want to do it at this one place in Madison or Vegas? Like, we got to make this thing live all throughout the year in between these events, from what I keep hearing from everyone. So I have a co-host alongside with me, Jasmine Bellamy, who through really CultureCon, without me even being here, it was the network of CultureCon that got us together. We hit it off right away. I think I've sent you some new friends. You've sent me some new friends. So we've got to illustrate this. And now we get to co-host here at CultureCon Madison 2024. So Jasmine, I'd love to hear your backstory on how'd you get connected to these guys?
Oh, first of all, so good to be with you, Nikki. Thank you so much. I'm excited to co-host with you. So, August 2022, I think CultureCon had just happened, so I'd missed it. But I was looking for org culture and just started surfing the web. And I landed on their page. And when it said that this was like for org culture geeks, I'm like, I have found my people. And so immediately I reached out and I said, how can I be a speaker and get engaged with this work? And really the rest is history from there. I think I got a connection from Nick and Zach like seconds later. And I got myself together to present my ideas. And then I happened to, have the privilege of being invited to be able to speak at CultureCon 2023, as well as CultureCon West. I also pitched HIT and became the opening keynote last year as well. So it was super, super fun. We just connected right off the gate. And to your point, in terms of how we connected, it was here at CultureCon 2023. I happened to be sitting at a table right before my presentation. And then as soon as I finished, someone came up to me, invited me on their podcast. And then after their podcast, they were like, okay, there's a whole nother world of the PeopleForward Network that you need to get locked into. And that's how they led me to you.
I love that. And now I'm connecting the dots. I think the name is Jason somewhere in those threads. So that's something too that I've seen is the importance and the priority and the power behind connection. It's like, how many people have been to a conference experience and you go and it's like, I learned so much. People did mentor me from the stage. I collected a bunch of business cards, but I didn't feel like I walked away with new friends. I mean, you all are doing that from a digital aspect, even without the conference. So like the conference becomes this like, amplified magnet of helping people to connect, which is just so cool. There's so much power in the relationship building that's happening. And I personally, as the founder of PeopleForward Network, who tried to talk you into a podcast series before I've even been there, hey, kudos to the impact and the fact that Jasmine signed up to come from the writing on a website. I mean, props to the marketing. I don't know if it's you two or you got some people behind that are doing that marketing, but that is pretty standout. So Jasmine, let's talk about our co-hosting efforts. You're going to be doing some episodes. I'm going to be doing some episodes. I'll start with one of the types of episodes that people can expect. So we asked Nick and Zach, and then also our team at PeopleForward Network did some digging. We looked around through all of the people that were going to be in Madison for the 2024 conference at who we think is just really interesting in the way that they're leading. And we think they have a niche story that we can really break down and learn one particular topic from. So we got introduced to a number of people, reached out to them. And the question that I would say is, are you on fire for a message that you want to tell other leaders? And you know exactly in your mind right now what it is that you want to share. And you think you and I could break it down to be able to give you a piece to share with your people, but we could really take this and inspire people for years to come. No one even took a breath without giving the thing. And it was like, boom. I mean, within 15 minutes, we had these episodes prepped. And I was like, well, this series is going to be a good one. So you can count on me as your girl that's going to do the hosting with these leaders to really break down these mentoring topics. And then I know that I had shared with Nick and Zach, I said, you have amazing speakers like Jasmine on your stage. Wouldn't it be a shame if only hundreds or a couple thousands get to hear her live? Like, how do we keep that ripple effect going? So, I mean, no one better than the great speaker, Jasmine, to then bring to life the speaker series. So tell us more about what your episodes will look like with the speakers.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled to be able to amplify the voices of fellow org culture geeks and thought leaders and culture transformers, the work that they're doing, the messages that they're going to be sharing and inspiring this audience with, being able to bring that to all of the PeopleForward Network listeners as well. So we'll be looking, getting a deeper dive and get greater insight into their presentations. So it will be like you were here.
I love that.
But can I say one other thing, though, about the relationships? The relationships that are built at CultureCon are amazing. I can think of at least 3 different speaking opportunities that I've had from having built relationship here. So I think about Angela Howard, who was a keynote last year, who her work at Call for Culture through her organization has been amazing. So her Impact Lab has been driving significant change. Michelle Bousquet, who was a keynote last year, and then I ended up going to be the keynote for her org for Juneteenth. So it's just been amazing how those relationships actually continue to build. And of course, we talked about Jason's podcast as well. Yeah. So just beautiful, beautiful relationships because we are super locked in and leaning into the work that Zach and Nick are doing here.
Well, and no one else could speak more clearly or honestly or, profoundly about how many hours, days, months go into creating a keynote. First of all, the topic comes from a soul connection to something that you're really passionate about. And then there's hours and hours and so much practice. And so no one better than you to be able to help these speakers that have spent so much time preparing to take the stage, but then to be able to package up a gift that they can take and share with their networks and their people that they lead inside their organization. So I think it'll be a really special thing that you get to bring to life. Before we move on with the other type of episode that I'll wrap us up with, kind of sharing some knowledge there, I want to make sure people know your heart, your passion, your background. Can you tell us, Jasmine, the work that you do?
Sure. I call myself these days a love scholar practitioner, a joyful disruptor, a business and culture transformer with a redemptive imagination. I've been in the industry, in retail in particular, for over 30 years. But it's transformed over the 31 years to become a business and culture transform that I don't just drive the P&L, I also lead and influence and inspire the people that are in it. So I'm super excited to be on this side of the table now. I feel like I have a whole new lease on my career because I've moved into this org culture side of the world.
Thank you for that. The final type of series, we might throw in a little added bonus episode type, but that's to come and it's all going to be a surprise. So you'll want to come back to figure out what they are. But the other one that I will tell you about is the importance of recognizing the amazing vendor solutions that make work suck less, make meaningful work happen. There are so many companies that have invested in CultureCon for multiple years. And there's a lot here with us in Madison, and we want to shine the light on a number of those to make sure that the attendees know, the people that are friends of the attendees know about these amazing solutions. Just as I was setting up our vendor table for PeopleForward Network, I got in a conversation with a couple and I was like, I've never heard of you. I need to know about this. This is the place of vetted, wonderful solutions that help move people forward inside of workplaces. Zach and Nick, before I wrap us up, is there anything you wanted to, share before we head off into turning it over to these different episodes?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing about Jasmine, because I can't be biased because all of our speakers are very amazing, but it was at CultureCon West when I popped in Jasmine's breakout session. And one of the challenges of being conference organizers is we don't get to see a lot of the presentations, but I walked in Jasmine's room and there's people in tears. That's how powerful her presentation was. And I was like, this is special. This doesn't happen every day at CultureCon. So, yeah, Jasmine, I appreciate your friendship and being a CultureCon contributor. It means a lot.
Thank you.
I've got chills over here, just FYI.
I have tears.
Chills and tears.
Welcome to CultureCon.
Oh, I love that.
I would just add, for anybody out there wondering who comes to the event, we've kind of settled on this ethos recently, this new vision statement where we say, we believe everybody, regardless of your role within an organization, you have a vested interest in making work more meaningful for yourself and for those around you. And so, sometimes people maybe think of our event as an HR conference, but at the end of the day, it's really not. We have people of all different types of levels and roles and responsibilities and departments coming to the event, all kind of centered around that rallying theme is how do I make work more meaningful for myself and how do I share that joy and that collaboration with others. So if you're out there wondering if this conference is for you, chances are it probably is.
Or in other words, if you're somebody that cares to move people forward, I definitely think CultureCon is your place. This series is your place. We would love to continue to hear feedback. Reach out to Nick and Zach as you listen to these episodes, because we have one thought in mind at PeopleForward Network: partnership for a reason. We're not here as a vendor. We're here as a partner. We want to go into this for a long haul. We will be at Vegas as well. And we're really looking forward to how do we craft these episodes so that it is a learning series that tugs on your heartstrings, that gives you the chills, that helps you take things and go implement them right away inside your organization. How do we bring a series that allows you to take that all throughout the year and then just come and get your biggest fuel at the conferences themselves? So with that, we're really excited. If you want to learn more about CultureCon, what's upcoming, definitely check out the website. Lots to learn there. And we will be so excited to have you with us on this journey.